Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, a two-car accident on Route 1A in Holden this morning left one driver deceased.
Our Matthew Jurancic has the story.
About an hour ago, a vehicle that was headed toward Hancock County appears to have drifted into the opposite lane. Two vehicles struck, and we now have a motor vehicle fatality here.
The other driver was not seriously injured. Holden police identified the deceased as 62-year-old Joseph Wadman of Ellsworth. Greeley says this accident is one of the worst incidents to have happened since 2017. While the scene looked ugly, Holden resident Jason Hamill says this is not an unfamiliar sight.
Happens on average at least once every 2 months on average right here within this, I would say, quarter-mile stretch. We had an accident right down the road here about 500 yards right over in front of the military surplus store about a month and a half ago. There was one right over here about 3 weeks ago that was literally like 200 yards down that way. There was one in front of the gas station like 3 months ago. So
the center lane was to improve, and I don't think it's improved too much in the area, anyways in Holton.
Greeley says the accident this morning only shows how important it is to be aware driving.
Regardless of whatever the actual cause of this accident was, we're still working on that. The big thing is to watch your speed and drive carefully. Don't be distracted by something inside the car or outside the car. To add to that, not being under the influence of something. Again, we don't know if that was the case here, but you got to be really careful, whether it's marijuana, alcohol, or whatever, that those are not impeding your ability to safely drive a car.
Matthew Jurancic, ABC7 and Fox 22.
A single vehicle crash in Sedgwick left one man dead on Sunday. According to the Hancock County Sheriff's Department, a crash was reported on Snows Cove Road at 7:38 last night. The initial investigation determined the vehicle was traveling south when it left the roadway, overcorrected, and then hit a ditch. The vehicle struck several trees before landing on its roof. The driver, 47-year-old John Wallace of Brooksville, was pronounced dead at the scene. The cause of the crash is currently under investigation, but police say speed and alcohol are likely contributing factors.
Well, Carmel Fire responded to a car that rolled off Route 69 this afternoon. Crews had to use the jaws of life to rescue the female driver who was pinned inside the car. Penobscot County Sheriff's Department Corporal Ryan Fitch says there were two occupants in the car at the time of the crash. The passenger was able to get out with the assistance of police. Fitch says there were several factors that led to that rollover.
At 12:08, we were called to a motor vehicle crash. The occupants of the car called us to report the crash. It appears that they were driving at a higher rate of speed than they should be on this road, and a deer ran out in front of them, caused them to go off the road and roll a couple times and get pinned inside the vehicle.
The driver was taken to a nearby hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
The Bangor Police Department is seeking the public's help locating a missing person. Nicole Tufo was last heard from on September 8th. She's not answered her cell phone and hasn't responded to friends or family on any social media platforms, which is uncharacteristic of her. Anyone with information is asked to contact Detective Robert Hallett at 207-947-7384, extension 5755, or email him at robert.hallett@bangormaine.gov. Anonymous tips may also be left at the same number under extension 3.
Well, in other news tonight, jury selection got underway today in the murder trial of Jessica Williams. The 35-year-old Stockton Springs woman is accused of killing her 3-year-old son, Maddox. The child died in June of 2021 after being taken to Waldo County General Hospital in Belfast by his mother and grandmother. During her arraignment, the state medical examiner said Maddox had suffered a number of injuries, including multiple bruises to his body, internal bleeding, a fractured spine, and missing teeth. Jury selection is expected to continue tomorrow.
The town of Herman has welcomed a new fire chief. Cody Sullivan, who'd been serving as the assistant fire chief in Herman, has now taken the helm as the department's new chief. He takes over for Frank Roma, who retired last month after serving in the position for 6 years. Sullivan says former Chief Roma prepared him well for his new position.
I enjoy working with members of the department and working with members of the community that we serve. So it's really all about people. It's not about the job. It's the interactions you get to have with folks on a day-to-day basis and see the positive outcomes that you can have in people's lives.
Sullivan has been serving with the Herman Fire Department for nearly 18 years.
Well, Hannaford is recalling some of its Taste of Inspirations brie due to listeria contamination concerns. The products include Taste of Inspirations Triple Cream Brie Round, 8 ounces, and Cut Brie 60% Wedge. The products have Best Buy dates ranging from September 28th to December 14th of this year. Hannaford says customers should not eat the products, but rather the items can be returned to the store for a full refund.
The warm days of summer may be over for now, but that doesn't mean the adventures have to stop. Fall is a great time to enjoy Maine's beauty, and as Craig Colson reports, the spectacular foliage makes it even better.
It was a chilly start to the day, but it turned out to be a perfect morning for an adventure. I teamed up with Maine guide Kathy Gordon for a little fishing on Pushaw Lake. We didn't have to go far to be surrounded by beauty. The countryside alive with color. Wildlife is abundant. Kathy is a retired Bangor school teacher. She now teaches people how to enjoy nature in her outdoor classroom.
I think people have maybe the wrong idea of what an adventure has to be. It doesn't have to be a big, 12-mile hike. It can be a 20-minute walk in the woods.
No matter what you choose, you're sure to see some amazing scenery over the weeks ahead. According to MaineFoliage.com, far northern Maine is reaching peak foliage conditions this week. The Katahdin region is seeing moderate conditions, and the Bangor area is still low. And you don't have to travel far to take it all in.
And it's very, I think, important emotionally, mentally, as well as physically, to get outside and get that fresh air. Mentally in Maine, it's really difficult when, we lose the sun. We've already lost 5.5 hours of sunlight.
We didn't have a lot of luck fishing today, but it felt great getting outside to enjoy the view. We saw a bald eagle, a few blue herons, and even a turtle soaking up some sun. All just a short drive from home.
It is good for the soul. Nature is the most healing thing you can do for yourself. And I tell people that all the time. They're like, you always look so happy. I'm like, well, I'm outside.
In Glenburn, this is Craig Colson reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22.
See the log.
I definitely echo those sentiments. There is no better way to get a big old smile on your face than to just see the beautiful outdoors.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely good for the soul and a great time of year to be outdoors.
It is, and with a little bit more on what we can expect in terms of outdoor conditions, let's take a first look at our forecast.
Thank you so much, Beth and Peter. And our first weather today is brought to you by Kings Mountain RC. Check out our new location on South Main Street in Brewer. All right, temperatures were chilly today. We actually had some below freezing temperatures across the state. So we did have some frost and freeze in the area. 28 earlier in Bangor, a bit warmer, of course, by the coast. Those ocean waters are still a little bit warm in those 50s, keeping temperatures a little bit warmer by the coast. But throughout the day today, check out these high temperatures, well below average, only in those 50s. We had a high of 58 in Bangor. Same thing by the coast, Bar Harbor coming in at 58 degrees. And then Rockland coming in at 56. Right now, partly cloudy skies across the state. We do actually have a couple of thicker clouds. This is in the southern part of the state, closer to Portland. That's still associated with Ian. Now, of course, a post-tropical system. Just a little bit of rain by New York City. In Maine, though, we are in the clear. Temperatures will cool off tonight. Once again, close to that freezing mark. Beth and Peter?
Already looking pretty good. Getting chillier by the night.
It certainly is. Definitely, if you haven't taken your AC units out or your window fans, what have you,
it may be time.
Might want to get around to doing that. Alrighty, well, coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, a healthcare advocacy group holds a press conference that aims to spread the word about more affordable health care.
And the University of Maine School of Nursing introduces a new program to help increase resiliency and reduce stress. We'll have those stories and much more as ABC 7 News at 6 continues.
Offensive and divisive. That's Paul LePage's legacy. But it's not just what he said as governor. It's what he did. LePage slashed funding for cancer screenings for women. He refused to invest in clean energy, kicked over 1,000 seniors off their prescription drug program, and even opposed funding to Meals on Wheels. So, if that's what Paul LePage did last time he was governor, we can't send him back. The top funder of the Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
Hey, how are you?
I got your order back this way.
Thanks. How are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
Come on in, sit down.
We're your neighbor, your friend, your banker. Skowhegan Savings.
I've been having foot pain for at least 10 years. The first day I put the key boot on, I could tell the difference. My pain level has been so much better. I was amazed. The key boots made it possible for me to actually walk without pain. I can go shopping, walking around the store without wanting to cry. I mean, I feel like dancing sometimes. The key boots made all the difference. Very happy with it. Comfort shoes, it's just changed my life.
Janet Mills's education department was teaching kindergartners radical transgender policies. Now it's pushing a curriculum telling students they're racist if they use certain terms. All lives matter, mass incarceration, calling the police on black people, all racist. Janet Mills closed our schools and our kids fell behind. And now she's pushing her radical education agenda. No more politics in schools, no more Janet Mills. The top funder of the Maine Republican Party is the Republican Governors Association.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back. A healthcare advocacy group is working to spread the word about more affordable health care. Our AJ Douglas shares the details.
I'm just one of many whose lives were saved because of the insurance that we were able to afford.
Monday, a healthcare advocacy group called Protect Our Care held a press conference in Bangor to discuss how the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act will impact Americans. The new legislation aims to counter inflation by reducing the cost of prescription drugs and health care.
There is not a person among us who does not rely upon the healthcare system, either now or at some point in time in our lives. And for many of us, this is an ongoing and literally life-sustaining challenge.
The package requires pharmaceutical companies to negotiate bulk purchasing with the federal government, which allows for decreases in prescription drug costs. It also lowers health premiums for nearly 13 million Americans by extending tax credits to purchase health insurance.
Nobody in this state should have to decide between feeding their family or heating their home or getting their prescriptions.
Laura Packard shared her story of surviving cancer thanks to having access to affordable health care. She is now advocating to get the message out about the recent changes.
I think a lot of people haven't necessarily heard about this bill yet, so they don't know that seniors are going to have their medication costs capped at $2,000 a year.
The lower cost, better care bus tour will travel around the country, spreading more awareness about the recent advancements in the healthcare system. In Bangor, AJ Douglas, ABC 7, Fox 22.
The medical field can, of course, be a high-stress environment and one that's received a lot of attention throughout the pandemic. Now, the University of Maine School of Nursing is implementing a new program called Well Nurse to help increase resiliency and reduce stress and burnout in the field. Our Jody Hersey shares more.
You can't bring to your patient your full self if you're depleted inherently. And this is the same with our faculty and staff. They can't bring to our students if they're depleted.
The nursing field is one of high stress and burnout, but thanks to a new $1.5 million award from the federal government, the University of Maine School of Nursing and its instructors now has a program to help them adapt called Well Nurse, which focuses on a person's mind, body, and spirit.
We're trying to experiment with different physical activities that will be motivating for students, faculty, and staff, but also easy to fit into their schedules.
From walking and yoga to meditation, massage, and mindful eating, WellNurse helps nursing students find a technique that works best for them. Kenny Goucher is a first-year nursing student and former member of the U.S. Navy.
I've seen so many people that do like the burnouts to where you're just working so hard, so long. You have to do 12, 13-hour shifts. You have to do them for days. You know, when I was on deployment, you know, those type of situations. I wish we had a program like this in those environments. So I think it will help me tremendously throughout my career.
Although this is the first semester this program has been implemented, nursing students here say they're already seeing the benefits.
I've continued to do a mindfulness yoga practice every morning, and it's been profound. I feel much calmer. I feel like I greet the day better. I don't wake up angry or worried, you know, so it's been really helpful.
Finding time to take care of themselves so they can take care of others in the future. In Orono, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
Well, great to see that program, just kind of exist as it really needs to, and a lot of attention has been brought on burnout and stress through the pandemic.
And rightly so, because the last thing that clinicians are taught is to take care of themselves. And you would think it'd be a foregone conclusion that you can't take care of others unless you take care of yourself. But really, it's kind of the last thing they're taught.
Right.
And it's almost as though the more you push, the more intense you are. You know, it's like this badge of honor. And it shouldn't be. You know, you should be able to prioritize yourself and your own wellness.
Absolutely, as
All
everyone
right.
should.
Yeah.
Well, still to come on ABC 7 News at 6, fall marks a season of many things, but one you might not know about, the hatching of snapping turtles.
And in sports, the University of Maine has taken their next step in finding a new athletic director. That story right after the break.
When it looks the part, but isn't the real thing, that's fool's golden. Jared Golden promised he'd be an independent fighter against Biden's spending, but then cast a deciding vote for Biden's newest spending bill that experts say will hike taxes $1 billion on those making under $50,000. Golden may think we're fools, but his recent vote shows Mainers what he's really made of. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hey, it's Eric from Green Bear 420. We've been in business since 2010 and going strong, so stop in and check us out. We specialize in glass art by over 100 local artists and even have live glass blowing. Plus, we carry incense, novelties, t-shirts, and hard-to-find items. We have tons of local products for the tie-dye wearing person in your circle of friends. Come see us at 531 Moosehead Trail in Newport. And remember, Green Bear 420, it's not just a store, it's a lifestyle.
Hi folks, this is Barry Gass of Gass Horse Supply and Western Wear in Orono. We've been in business since 1911, and our third-generation family-owned business can't wait to show you our unique line of Western wear and Western tack. We have Western boots, shirts, hats, belts, and buckles for the entire family, and Western tack from bridles to saddles and everything in between for your horse.
Gass Horse Supply and Western Wear, where the American West comes alive in Maine.
Jamar Construction Products in Bangor continues to grow to meet our customers' needs, supplying products for site work contractors, concrete contractors, and survey and safety supplies. We are proud to be the local dealer for Hilti, Valley Blades, U.S. Fabrics, and Euclid Chemical, plus so much more. Stop by and see us at 1270 Hammond Street or give us a call at 907-4491. If you dig it, pour it, plow it, fasten it, lay it, or lift it, Jamar Construction Products can help you.
Mainers work hard, but Joe Biden's inflation is making life miserable. Heating oil costs are crushing Maine families. I'm Bruce Poliquin, and for too many, this means choosing between gas, groceries, or freezing. Biden and all Democrats created this mess, and they're making it worse. Congress needs more Maine common sense, not more spending on those who won't work or more taxes on those who do. I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message because Maine needs a congressman who will stand up to Biden and help Maine families.
Put a little more cash in your bag. Save money with half-off deals at foxbangor.com.
Welcome
back in. Thank you for staying with us. We will start with an update on the Maine Athletic Director search. On Monday, the university they announced the search committee for their next permanent AD. The university named 15 members to the committee looking for Ken Ralph's replacement, who officially parted ways with Maine earlier in the month. The committee is chaired by the Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, John Volan, and members range from coaches, Amy Vachon, Ben Barr, and Josette Babineau, as well as student athletes. You have past Hall of Famers and athletic staff. Finalists for the job are expected to visit campus by mid-November, and the decision on the athletic director is anticipated in, quote, early December, per the release from the university. So some exciting times for the University of Maine right there. Let's move on to some football and stay up in Orono. The Black Bears had their CAA opener on Saturday, dropping the game 45-20 to Villanova. The loss moves Maine to 0-4 on the season, but really the hardest part of their schedule is now behind them. Two FBS opponents, a ranked Villanova team that actually came in as the 13th best team in the FCS coaches poll on Monday morning. They've got the newest member of the CAA ahead of them on Saturday, heading down to Hampton, who's ranked 9th in the CAA, just 2 spots above Maine. And on Monday morning, head coach Jordan Stevens saying the team's best days are ahead.
Really not looking back at the schedule, or, using that as any type of crutch, but certainly, we have a lot ahead of us, and we have a lot, we have everything to look forward to here, starting with this week, with going down to Hampton and a great opponent and an opportunity for us to get back on the field. And I know all the players, coaches, everyone's, excited to prepare and get back out on the field. But
we will hear more from them on Tuesday. Moving on now and into Foxborough, with the Pats losing Sunday to the Packers in Green Bay, but taking them to the final seconds of overtime. They did it with their third quarterback, too, Bailey Zappi. Remember that name, folks. He became the first rookie quarterback to throw a touchdown this season. Zappi was pretty impressive by the eye test and the numbers. He went 10 for 15 with 99 yards and the aforementioned touchdown. Regardless, New England falls to 1-3 to start for the second straight season, but it's hard not to get, a little excited watching Zappi play and watching them take Rodgers and the Packers down to the wire at Lambeau.
It was a dream come true to play an NFL game. It's obviously not the outcome we wanted at all. I just want to first give credit to all my teammates. They kept me calm. They kept me, getting the nerves out of me. They kept me in my space and cool, calm, and collected.
That's what happened. And he stepped in. He was well prepared. And I thought generally handled himself well. Certainly things he can improve on, we'll work on. But thought he did a solid job.
Solid job. He is the first quarterback to make their debut and throw a touchdown pass in Lambeau in the history of Lambeau Field. Patriots also signing Jamie Collins this afternoon. That's some more news. That is all we have for sports, though. Here is Conrad Sapinski with your full 5-day forecast. Conrad?
Thank you so much, Tyler, and happy Monday to you and to everybody watching. Our main weather today is brought to you by Varney Chevrolet. If you are looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle near Bangor or Augusta, then stop by Varney Chevrolet in Pittsfield, just blocks from Interstate 95. Come see what Varney Value is all about. All right, let's check out these advisories and warnings we have in the area. Yesterday was a chilly start. Today, same thing. Look at this for tomorrow. We do have some frost advisories just south of Bangor, even some freeze warnings in the purple, and of course some small craft advisories to the south associated with post-tropical system Ian. Temperatures today were chilly. Hopefully you folks had your sweaters because we definitely needed those. We only had a high temperature of around 58 degrees here in Bangor. Same thing by Bar Harbor, Rockland, a tad bit cooler at 56 up north. Same thing, cooler temperatures, Greenville coming in at 50 degrees. So everybody was in on those cooler temperatures. Our average closer to 64 degrees, so we were well below that today. But look what happens by tomorrow into Wednesday. Some near average temperatures Thursday. Oh, look at that, 71. And then into Friday. But look what happens by Saturday and Sunday. We really start to cool off. So this week will be nice. Enjoy it while it lasts because a cool down is on the way. Right now we do have some partly cloudy skies across the state. Nothing going on in our state. So in our part of the state, we're in the clear. But look just south of us. New York City, Jersey, PA, they are getting hit with nonstop rain the last couple of days. this was associated with Ian, so waves are even on the higher end, just off the shore. But we will be in the clear. We'll just see a few passing clouds. Most of that precipitation will be well offshore for us. Maybe a sprinkle or two, especially closer to the coast, and same thing by Portland. But overall, we will be in the clear. Wind's not a big issue at the moment. We do have a little bit of a 5-mile-per-hour breeze in Bangor, a bit higher in Bar Harbor, same thing in Rockland, but nothing for us to really worry about. Don't even have to hold your hats today. But just down south, where Ian is still a low. Right now, look at these waves. That buoy is showing a 21-foot wave. So waves are insane closer to the Jersey shoreline. They even have a little bit of flooding with all that rain nonstop coming in and in. This is a post-tropical system now. Not even close to a hurricane, but still producing a little bit of rain and some really high waves off the coast of Jersey. Tonight in Bangor, temperatures around 31 degrees, mostly clear skies, and frost and freeze will be an issue once again by the morning hours, and our extended forecast outlook does show those warm temperatures sticking around right through this week, and then cooler weather back by the weekend. Beth and Peter?
Looking pretty dandy so far.
Yeah, really nice. A little bit up and down there, but bracing for those 50s coming in for the weekend. Yeah.
Bracing?
I mean, it's been
As
nice.
in putting a hoodie on your hook outside. So
something like that.
Yeah.
Always got to have them within arm's reach. Yeah, exactly.
We're bracing for the 50s. All right. Well, there is still more to come after the break. Stay with us.
You can always tell where Bruce Poliquin's been, hanging around Washington politicians and the special interests that fund their campaigns, like big oil and drug and insurance companies. Poliquin leaves a bit of Washington everywhere because he's covered in it, supporting special tax breaks for big corporations and more government spending. No matter where you see Bruce Poliquin, you know he's always heading back to the swamp. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Jay Leno live in concert.
Researchers at Washington University report that 100,000 years from now, the average size of the human head will greatly increase. They say the larger the head and the larger the jaw, the more sexually attractive people will be. So I am 100,000 years ahead of my time. That's right.
Saturday, October 22nd, Collins Center for the Arts, Orono, Maine. Tickets on sale now at waterfrontconcerts.com.
When it comes to finding the right health insurance for your small business, it can feel like you're the only one looking out for the well-being of your team. But when you partner with a nonprofit health insurer who not only understands your needs as a business owner, but puts your people over their profits, it allows your business to keep doing what it does best. With a team who can take comfort in knowing they're cared for, people over profits. Now that's a novel idea. Get a quote from your broker or visit healthoptions.org.
Don't believe the lies from Washington's special interests. Jared Golden's a different type of Democrat. I respect that Jared served in the Marines. Jared's a friend of law enforcement, and we definitely can trust him to keep our communities and families safe. Jared is standing strongly against defunding the police.
This endorsement was not a given. Congressman Golden's earned it.
Mr. Golden will definitely fight for us and be in our corner and have our backs, absolutely.
I'm Jared Golden, and I'm honored to approve this message.
If you were hurt because of exposure to the toxic water at Camp Lejeune, Congress has made it possible for you to recover a settlement. Former Marine attorney James Beardsley wants to help you.
Call now to see if you qualify. Call 222-2222.
This week, the aftermath of Ian, the rescues, fixing the power and damage, the people struggling to get help to rebuild their lives. More Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, the most watched program on all of television.
Well, fall isn't typically the season we associate with the birth of new wildlife, but for snapping turtles and many other reptiles, it's hatching season. According to the Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, snapping turtles lay their leathery eggs in June, burying them in well-drained, sandy soil. During this time of year, the hatchlings emerge when they are only about an inch in length. Now, instinct drives them to quickly move to a body of water and then settle into the muddy bottom where they'll spend the winter. The IFW says if you see a young snapping turtle, you can take a photo and report the sighting to the Maine Amphibian and Reptile Atlas Project online. You can find that at mefishwildlife.com/atlas. They are tiny. Oh my goodness, look at them.
Yeah, and super cute at that.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting to see one up close like that, because otherwise, if you didn't know how to recognize one, it might just look like another rock or something.
Yeah, you wouldn't have any idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But really cool to learn about that. Leathery eggs, too.
Leathery eggs.
Very interesting.
Yeah, you learn something new every day.
Indeed you do.
All righty. Well, that is going to do it for us, folks. From everybody here at ABC7, take care and have a great rest of your night. We'll see you right back here at 11.